Welcome back. We're wrapping this series with a brain health speedrun.
We went from exercise and Mediterranean food to sleep, loneliness, and even how grief changes you.
The dementia connection thing? I didn't expect it to be this practical.
Same, because everyone talks dementia like it's a lightning strike, not lifestyle math.
The core theme was basically your brain shrinks when your life shrinks.
Yeah, and it's not just one villain. Sleep, movement, community, and stress all stack.
Also, the guest talked like your brain has a chore list. Clean the gunk.
Gunky brain is such a disgusting mental image, but it's memorable.
The sleep part landed hard, hippocampus consolidation and clearing metabolites.
Translation: if you sleep 5 hours, you're not finishing the day's brain paperwork.
And we're all out here choosing Netflix over 8 hours like it's a personality trait.
Netflix is fine, but not as a replacement for your brain repairing itself.
Then they hit the 2-minute fix vibe with breath and cold-hot showers.
Hot-cold contrast. Adrenaline boost, wakefulness, and then you just keep going.
The moment they said painful at first, I was like, so it's legit.
I love the mechanism talk, but I'm also cautious. People romanticize biohacks.
Sure, but it was paired with boring fundamentals: sleep, exercise, relationships.
And exercise wasn't go hard, it was walk 10 minutes can move anxiety.
10 minutes of walking, the anti-influencer prescription.
What surprised me was how much the conversation tied exercise to brain resilience, not just fitness.
The central behaviors that destroy your brain list was basically sedentary, no sleep, smoking, too much alcohol.
And processed food, Mediterranean diet was the safe bet.
Colorful plants as the neuroscience plan, I can get behind that.
It's wild how nutrition advice keeps coming back to eat real stuff.
The relationship section, though, that was the mic drop for me.
Loneliness wasn't framed as sad vibes, it was framed as a chronic stress input.
Like less friends equals stress hormones equals brain damage pathways.
Your brain is social hardware, and if you don't use it, you degrade the function.
The barista hello detail killed me because it makes it measurable.
Right. Connections aren't only lifelong best friends, frequency matters too.
But I do want to push back slightly. More interactions doesn't always mean more healthy.
True, quality matters, and the guest didn't pretend otherwise. They contrasted it with face-to-face real connection.
Which is where social media came in like a slot machine with a dopamine drip.
That comparison was savage. Pull the lever, get ping, get notifications, repeat.
And the question, is it dopamine, was basically answered with, yeah, functionally it's similar.
But I'm also thinking, dopamine isn't evil. It's the compulsive scheduling that's the issue.
Exactly. If dopamine were bad, we'd all be demonized for coffee, music, and snacks.
The harm, they said, is you sacrifice sleep, movement, and real human contact.
That felt personal because the guest admitted phone addiction like it was embarrassing, but honest.
Also, the 2-week phone detox challenge was basically, try not to stare at the screen like it's oxygen.
I just could never imagine such a thing, is such a real sentence, though.
I kept thinking about their meditation point. The core fear is being alone with your thoughts.
And they connected creativity to that stillness. Imagination depends on hippocampus and memory recombination.
Which loops back to anxiety. If stress keeps firing, you don't consolidate and you don't explore creatively.
The physiology of anxiety was intense. Sympathetic nervous system, heart rate, shunting blood.
Fight or flight triggered by a nasty Deme instead of a tiger. Your body is overconfident.
That's the stress system isn't smart claim. Same response, different threat.
Then they offered the fix. 3 deep breaths to activate parasympathetic rest and digest.
I love that it's not a motivational poster. It's literally physiology you can do right now.
And that ties into the anxiety book angle. Anxiety is a warning system, not a life sentence.
I like that framing, but I worry people will dismiss clinical anxiety.
They were careful. Everyday anxiety is different from clinical, and techniques help both, but you still need proper care.
Also, the gift of anxiety idea is oddly empowering if you know what you care about.
And sadness was treated the same way. Difficult emotions carry information, not just pain.
The grief story was the emotional anchor of the whole conversation.
2 losses, waves of grief, then giving a eulogy. Humans are not built for that speed.
But the takeaway was surprisingly clear. Grief proves love, and it can deepen empathy.
That's the part where neuroscience meets meaning, and they didn't pretend it was purely mechanical.
Proving isn't the end-all. That line felt like permission to breathe spiritually without abandoning science.
Exactly. Religion or spirituality decreasing anxiety because it gives structure and comfort.
The final "you only have one brain" message wasn't preachy. It was urgent and motivating.
And the big, fat, fluffy brain metaphor was hilarious, but the mission underneath was real.
Fluffy brain is the only acceptable neuroscience jargon for me.
Before we close, my takeaway: protect sleep, move daily, meditate or breathe, and don't outsource your life to a feed.
And I'm taking the compassion angle. Connection isn't just nice. It's brain health and happiness fuel.
Okay, that's it for this 2-episode run. Thanks for hanging with us.
If you try one thing today, make it 3 slow breaths and a real person message.
We'll see you in the next series. Same energy, less gunk.
Sleep like it's your brain's housekeeping schedule. Because it is.
Welcome back. This time we attacked the brain's don't do this list.
Sleep, social media, and stress. Turns out those 3 are basically boss fights.
Like, the scary part is how many of our everyday habits quietly sabotage consolidation.
Consolidation? You mean my brain is literally filing memories only while I'm asleep?
Yes, and also the cleanup process during sleep removes metabolic garbage.
Garbage brain is such a rude phrase, yet somehow it's accurate.
The way people brag about 5 hours of Netflix sleep is wild to me.
5 hours is not a lifestyle, it's a dare to your hippocampus.
And she said it like torture situations, deprive sleep too long and you can't function.
My calendar does not respect that warning at all.
Okay, but what did you think about the coffee versus contrast shower morning hack?
Contrast showers sound like self-controlled chaos, but the adrenaline angle is compelling.
It's the cold exposure triggering a natural adrenaline boost, like waking up without caffeine dependence.
I like that because it's immediate and not another perfect routine fantasy.
Still, I'm not doing pain first like it's a gym class, Malik.
Fair, fair. Your brand is boundaries, mine is biological acceptance.
Now flip to the behavior destroyers. Sedentary life and not sleeping enough are the big ones.
And the episode kept repeating "not moving" like it's an identity problem, not just a workout problem.
Exactly. Movement is a mood stabilizer and an anxiety reducer, even with a short walk.
10 minutes of walking is the anti-BS medicine because it's not complicated.
The brain likes cardio, but it also likes not being stuck, physiologically speaking.
Wait, she said you don't even need deep aerobic training for anxiety benefits.
Yeah, exercise is almost like a lever you can pull to reduce stress hormones and depressive symptoms.
So my excuses are officially unemployed.
Then we hit loneliness and social connection, and it wasn't sentimental, it was neurological.
Hello to the barista accounts. Not close friendships, just regular interaction.
Its correlation with longevity and brain health, and it also improves happiness outcomes.
I love the data, but I also want to push back. How causal is that?
I know, you want the graph to hold hands with causality.
Exactly. Because sometimes people who are healthy socialize more, and we mistake that for a cause.
True, but either way, the direction of behavior change helps. More connection and reduced loneliness.
And it fits the whole brain is social theme. Neurons wire for interaction.
What really got me was the social media section, because it framed it as a physiological stressor.
The feed as a slot machine, my dopamine hitting like I'm gambling against my own time.
She argued the stress response is triggered by threat cues, even if it's a DM and not a lion.
My nervous system really needs a software update.
But you agree with the core point, right? That our bodies don't differentiate threat styles well?
Yeah, fight or flight firing for somebody disrespected my values online is insane.
I do wonder about overclaiming dopamine everywhere, though. People use that word like a magic spell.
Dopamine is the new vibes. Everyone says it, no one defines it.
Still, the behavioral hook is real. Notifications, variable rewards, endless scroll stimulation.
And that's why the trade-offs matter. Sleep loss, less movement, fewer real connections.
The science turned into a practical question. What are you sacrificing when your phone runs your attention?
She basically dared people to do a 2-week phone detox like it's a brain reset button.
You said phone detox, and my first thought was, I can't. What would I even do?
That anxious waiting for the phone to turn back on was too relatable, honestly.
And the meditation angle, being alone with your thoughts, is the real muscle.
Because the episode basically said meditation is learning to stay present without panic stimulating your brain.
Have you ever noticed you're most creative when you stop refreshing?
My best ideas show up when I'm bored enough to think, which is rare now.
That connects to the hippocampus too, imagination and memory remixing.
My hippocampus deserves better playlists than my endless scroll.
Okay, now the anxiety reframing. She wrote about everyday anxiety, not clinical anxiety.
And she tied it to global stressors plus a modern layer, social comparison and non-stop information.
Plus the stress response physiology, sympathetic activation, heart rate, faster breathing, blood shunted.
The body prepares for danger like it's about to run from a tiger, not read a nasty comment.
And she offered the immediate lever, breath meditation, like 3 deep, slow breaths.
3 breaths sounds almost too simple, which is why it works.
Because you're activating the parasympathetic rest and digest system, not trying to outthink fear.
Thinking is overrated when your nervous system is doing cartwheels.
What did you think about her sadness and anxiety are valuable signals argument?
I liked that. Anxiety isn't just noise, it points to what you care about and what needs attention.
Exactly, it becomes a warning system, not a life sentence.
And then the grief stories showed how emotions can come in waves, then recede, then return.
The waves detail was heavy, but it made emotion feel human instead of pathological.
Also, she said working out during grief while her teacher said, "Great pain comes great wisdom," was basically destiny.
And the takeaway was, don't medicate the meaning away, learn from the signal.
I also loved the compassion close. Connection not as a luxury, but as a brain and happiness driver.
Compassion as feeling with others, good and bad, like you can meet grief without running from it.
My brain is now demanding sleep like it's a subscription service.
And I'm demanding a hard boundary with the feed, because your life is not a slot machine.
If people take one action from this episode, protect sleep and move daily, period.
And when stress hits, do the simplest reset, 3 slow breaths and 1 real person message.
We're wrapping the 2-episode run now, thanks for hanging with us.
If you try anything, make it small, make it today, and make it consistent.
Sleep like it's your brain's housekeeping schedule, because it is.
Welcome back. This episode was basically a brain safety checklist.
Yep, we zoomed in on sleep, social media, and stress. What damages the brain most?
The don't do this list is kind of brutal, honestly, because it's everyday stuff.
Like, it's not don't drink poison, it's don't get 5 hours of sleep.
And somehow we act like sleep is optional, like our hippocampus won't notice.
The hippocampus part hit me. Memory consolidation sounds boring until you connect it to dementia risk.
And the gunky brain metaphor, my brain now lives with a sponge schedule.
Brain housekeeping is the most terrifying home chore I've ever heard.
But it makes sense. Sleep is when your brain clears out metabolites.
So if someone chronically short sleeps, they're basically letting garbage pile up daily.
Which is exactly why I'll catch up on weekends never really does it.
Weekend sleep is like putting a Band-Aid on a clogged sink, you know?
Okay, sleep aside. Social media was the other monster in the room.
Yeah, because it's not just psychological comparison, it's physiological stress chemistry.
That explanation was wild. The same stress response as a threat scenario.
Your body hears nasty DM and thinks, lion. That's not evolution, that's bad software.
And social media is engineered to keep you pulling the slot machine lever. Constant cue reward.
Notifications are basically ping dopamine nudges, nonstop.
The feed is like an anxious raccoon party, very reactive, not very nourishing.
The part I can't shake is that stress hormones can start damaging connections and cells over time.
And we're pretending it's just scrolling, like it's neutral background noise.
Background noise that steals your sleep, steals your attention, steals your relationships.
Exactly. And it's not the same as real social interaction, face-to-face connection.
She made that distinction and I felt myself arguing internally, because people say, I'm social online.
Being able to message doesn't equal building deep social bonds that protect brain health.
Like you can have 800 followers and still feel lonely as hell.
Right. Loneliness turns into chronic stress, and chronic stress shrinks the odds of thriving.
And then it loops back to sleep, because stress wrecks sleep quality and depth.
So the list is basically, don't sabotage your nervous system, don't sabotage your housekeeping, don't sabotage your humans.
Don't sabotage your humans should be on every wellness poster.
But what I loved was the flip. It's not just doom, it's immediate tools.
3 slow breaths, instantly. Parasympathetic activation on demand.
That's such a strong point. You can't command your heart rate with thinking, but you can control breathing.
Mind, I should relax. Body, cute, try breathing.
Exactly, and then your body shuts off fight or flight's spotlight.
I also like that the show didn't pretend stress is imaginary.
Yeah, stress is real physiology, so the response has to be real too. Movement, sleep, connection.
Like even 10 minutes of walking changes anxiety and depression levels. No marathon required.
It's one of those facts that feels too simple until you try it, and your nervous system literally believes it.
I love when biology is like, don't overthink, just do the thing.
And the stress isn't only bad, it can be a warning system.
That reframing was huge. Anxiety points toward what you care about.
So instead of anxiety means I'm broken, it becomes anxiety means I'm paying attention.
Anxiety, hey buddy, you love people. Also anxiety, let's panic about it.
Exactly. Then compassion shows up as the meta skill, feeling with others.
And compassion is not soft. She framed it as connection and community, like your brain is built for it.
I kept thinking about that question. The best quality of humanity is compassion.
Because it loops back to the don't do this list. Loneliness and stress kill the conditions compassion needs.
And social media can create a performance of connection instead of actual connection.
But let me push you. What about people using social media as a tool? She said it's different.
True, business use isn't the same as 7 hours a day under comparison cues.
Still, the design is the design. Slot machine mechanics are slot machine mechanics.
Yes, and your attention is the deposit the casino takes.
Which is why the phone detox idea isn't moralizing, it's data. What happens when you stop?
And people act like that's impossible until the first 48 hours pass and they feel weirdly free.
Because the brain needs alone with thoughts sometimes, like actual imagination space.
The creativity point was sneaky. She basically said meditation makes imagination work differently.
I'm trying to meditate and my brain's like, we're updating social media strategy.
Mine tries to negotiate like, can we be mindful while doom scrolling?
Mindfulness. No, breath only. Doom scrolling. But I have opinions.
That's why routines matter. Sleep schedule, movement, real humans, and regulation practices.
And she gave the simplest version. Protect sleep, move daily, when stress hits, 3 breaths, and 1 real message.
If you do those, you're not just surviving, you're building brain resilience.
And honestly, you're making it more likely you'll feel joy in the long run.
Joy from real connection is different than likes. Your brain knows the difference.
So yeah, if your device is stealing sleep, it's not entertainment. It's a nervous system trade.
And that trade can be reversed, one small action at a time.
We're wrapping this series now. Thanks for hanging out with us for 2 episodes.
Try something small today, make it consistent, and protect your sleep like it's sacred.
Welcome back. This episode, we stitched sleep, social life, and stress into one brain safety map.
We basically got a don't do this list from Neuroscience. Protect sleep, don't trade real connection, and learn to downshift anxiety fast.
The sleep part was wild, like the brain is literally consolidating memories while you're out.
And if you don't get enough, it's not just fatigue. It's missing consolidation plus gunk cleanup.
She said it like gunky brain, and I believed her immediately.
Right? Your brain turns into a dishwasher that you keep refusing to run.
But okay, how much sleep is enough before we're just doom scrolling our way into dementia?
The point wasn't a single magic number, it was consistency. Shortchanging sleep breaks normal brain housekeeping.
And then she tied it to those torture stories. If you deprive sleep too long, you just can't function.
Which is a terrifying way to say, stop treating 5 hours like a personal brand.
Netflix at night really is like, let's negotiate with your hippocampus.
Exactly. And the hack she implied was boring but powerful. Protect the schedule like it matters.
Also, hot-cold contrast showers. She's basically cold emailing your adrenaline every morning.
That first part sounds painful, but then she's like, I got addicted to it, and I'm like, okay, demon science.
I like it, though, because it's an immediate nervous system stimulus. Wake up without caffeine theatrics.
Sure, but let's be careful. Adrenaline isn't the same thing as long-term brain health.
Totally, but it's a get-you-moving ritual that beats lying in bed doom thinking.
Speaking of doom thinking, the don't do this list included sedentary behavior and not sleeping enough, obviously.
The list is basically stop being a houseplant with Wi-Fi.
But the bigger spicy part was social life, loneliness actually shrinking the brain and increasing dementia risk.
She even made it sound like greeting the barista counts, which is so unfair to my introvert personality.
It's not friendship or nothing, it's social interaction density. Your brain likes contact.
But I kept thinking, how is that not just happiness marketing?
Because the evidence she pointed to was correlation with longevity, and in brain health, it's stress reduction and engagement.
So basically, the brain is like, cool story, but where's the human?
And her distinction between social media and real interaction was actually nuanced.
Yeah. She said social media can be a tool, but it's not the same as face-to-face because your nervous system is built for people, not pings.
The neurotransmitter angle was the part that made my brain itch. Dopamine like a slot machine handle.
But honestly, it's hard to argue with the design. Pull down feed, get reward signals, repeat.
And if you're constantly stimulated, you sacrifice sleep and movement and real relationships. Those are the actual protective variables.
She basically said, you can't keep every good habit and add social media as an extra hobby.
You either pay the trade or your body charges interest.
The 2-week phone detox line, she said it like it was a reasonable medical protocol.
And you reacted like the person who just got told to uninstall their Heartbeat app.
I mean, she described waiting for her phone to come back on, staring at it like, what am I supposed to do now?
That's the core of meditation too, right? Being alone with your thoughts without external stimulation.
And she said she finds meditation harder when she's using her phone more, which is such a tell.
Yeah, like your imagination and memory integration, hippocampus stuff, doesn't work the same if you're constantly hijacked.
I love that she brought it back to biology, not just vibes.
Then anxiety became the engine of the whole conversation, stress response physiology, not just mental chatter.
That explanation was so sharp. Fight or flight is sympathetic nervous system, heart rate up, respiration up, blood shunted away.
And the punchline was, your brain doesn't know the difference between a tiger and a nasty DM.
That's insane because it makes anxiety feel less like personal weakness and more like a system misfiring.
Exactly. So the solution isn't shame, it's regulation. 3 deep breaths to trigger parasympathetic rest and digest.
She said you can't slow your heart rate by thinking, but you can by breathing, because it's the only lever you control consciously.
And exercise as a fast anxiety reducer too, like even 10 minutes of walking can move the needle.
So the anti-anxiety plan is move, breathe, and stop negotiating with your DMs.
I did want to push back slightly though. Breathing helps, but anxiety can have bigger roots than a notification cycle.
Agreed, and she also said the book focused on everyday anxiety, not clinical anxiety, so context matters.
Still, the most motivating reframing was that anxiety and sadness are warning systems, not enemies.
Like anxiety points to what you care about, your values encoded as bodily alarm bells.
That was why she wouldn't numb grief with a pill, because the depth came from love, not dysfunction.
That grief story shifted the whole emotional temperature of the episode.
And she framed it as flipside gifts too, finding wisdom on the other end so you can carry it forward.
Which circles back to brain health. Sleep, movement, connection, and stress downshifts create more room for joy.
And joy from real connection isn't the same as likes. Your brain knows the difference because it evolved for people.
So the final don't do this list is basically don't short sleep, don't trade humans for dopamine pings, and don't treat threats like lions.
If you do those 3 things, your brain has a chance to grow instead of just survive.
All right. Quick wrapping thought. Protect sleep today like it's sacred, move daily, and when stress hits, 3 breaths.
And if you can, add 1 real interaction, someone you can look in the eye.
That's it for the series. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us these 2 episodes.
Try something small today, make it consistent, and keep your brain's future in mind.
Welcome back. This episode finishes the brain don't do this list.
We hit the big 3: sleep debt, social media replacement, and stress that never shuts off.
The sleep part was wild, like the hippocampus needs it to store memories.
And it's not just storage. Sleep is also when the brain cleans the garbage.
Gunky brain is such a perfect mental image, honestly.
But does everyone feel that gunk, or is that just her vibe?
I think people feel it as fog, irritability, zero patience.
Exactly. Your brain being like, I didn't get my cleanup crew.
Okay, and then we flip to the other destroyers, sedentary time.
The annoying part is we all know it, and still we sit like it's our job.
Our spines are filing for unemployment after 6 hours.
Even 10 minutes of walking can lower anxiety, which is pretty unfair to ignore.
It was also said you don't even need full aerobic suffering.
Your body doesn't care about your motivational quotes. It cares about motion.
Then the third, stress, this felt personal because it's basically don't treat DMs like lions.
She said the stress system doesn't differentiate, which is terrifying and also validating.
So my brain sees nasty message and goes, ah, yes, tiger.
But is it always that extreme? Sometimes I'm just annoyed, not in fight or flight.
Sure, but the point is volume and frequency. Constant activation becomes the problem.
The full body description is brutal. Heart rate, breathing, blood redirected.
And the physiologically boring truth is the body can't tell threat types apart.
That's why her tool was so simple: 3 deep breaths to activate the calm system.
3 breaths sounds like a yoga app slogan, but it's actually nervous system stuff.
The trick is making it habitual before you're spiraling.
Okay, but the most controversial part for me was the social media isn't social.
Yeah, she drew a hard line between real interaction and dopamine-ish engagement.
Not me getting served the notification and my brain goes, congratulations, you won the slot machine.
Pull the handle, get ping. That analogy is too accurate.
But I'll push back. Some people use social media to connect, learn, and feel less alone.
Totally, and she even said it's different when you're using it as a tool.
Still, the mechanism matters. If it replaces sleep, movement, and face-to-face contact, brain suffers.
And there were studies on young kids where more time correlated with higher depression and anxiety.
It's like we can't just feel better, we need the brain to actually develop offline.
She basically said your brain evolved for humans, not feeds.
That brain plasticity line hit me. Meditation helps the prefrontal cortex for focus.
And she tied creativity to being alone with your thoughts, not constantly scrolling.
Which is rude, because my thoughts are undefeated and my phone is the referee.
I liked that she described the fear of sitting alone with your mind.
That electric shock study was insane. People chose shock over boredom and self-reflection.
We are really out here paying subscriptions to avoid our own brains.
Okay, but where I got emotional, she reframed anxiety and sadness as valuable signals.
Anxiety is a warning system, not a malfunction. Helps you work with it instead of fighting it.
Also, she said if you know what you're afraid of, you learn what you care about.
That's such a clean reframe, like fear has a map, not just a volume knob.
Then she told the grief story, waves receding, coming back, and she still found meaning.
The eulogy fear part, wow, that's the kind of fear that feels physically real.
And her conclusion was almost brutal in a gentle way. Grief proves depth of love.
I loved that she turned her gift question toward anxiety too. What superpower is hidden in it?
But I wonder, does that risk minimizing people who are clinically overwhelmed?
She explicitly talked about non-clinical everyday anxiety, but yeah, we've got to hold space.
Otherwise, someone's like, just breathe and reframe, and that's not healthcare.
Agreed, but the practical tools are still legit. Movement, breath, sleep, and connection.
Connection is the one I keep circling back to. She said strength of social ties predicts longevity.
Even saying hello to the barista counts, because regular interaction shapes the brain.
It's weirdly comforting. Community doesn't require you to be a charismatic extrovert.
It just requires you to show up repeatedly to real people.
Which is scary, because it means you can't hide behind airplane mode for your soul.
And if you do hide, your brain still pays the price. Less joy, less resilience.
So the final don't do this list: short sleep, too much screen-based replacement, and non-stop threat chemistry.
If you do those three, your brain grows less and survives more.
All right, quick wrapping thought. Protect sleep today like it's sacred. Move daily, and 3 breaths when stress hits.
And if you can, add one real interaction. Someone you can look in the eye.
That's it for the series. Thanks for hanging out with us for these 2 episodes.
Try something small today, make it consistent, and keep your brain's future in mind.
Welcome back, final episode of the series, and we're going straight for the brain's red flags.
We talked sleep, social life versus screen life, and how stress chemistry quietly wrecks your brain.
Okay, but I need to react to the sleep thing. People really think 5 hours is fine?
It's not fine. It's basically interrupting memory consolidation and letting garbage build up.
Gunky brain is such a gross way to phrase it, but honestly, accurate.
And the Netflix habit is the sneaky part, because it feels like rest, but it's not.
Right, like you're sedated, not repaired, and the hippocampus is just sitting there.
The argument is simple. Shorten sleep and your brain can't do its daily maintenance properly.
If someone's like, I can sleep later, what's the counter from your side?
Tell them your brain doesn't run on your schedule. It runs on biology. 8 hours is the boring truth.
Boring truth is always the worst kind, because it works. Now social media hit me.
Social media can be a tool, but it's not the same as face-to-face social connection.
So what's the real harm? Comparison psychology or something more physiological?
Both are tangled, but physiologically it activates threat response and stress hormones.
Like it's a DM, not a lion, but your body treats it like a lion anyway.
Exactly. Fight or flight doesn't get the context memo. You're anxious at the cellular level.
That slot machine handle analogy, every feed scroll feels like a ping dopamine event.
And when you're hooked, you sacrifice sleep, exercise variety, and real human connection.
Which is funny because the dopamine hit says more, but the brain is saying less.
The don't do this list is really replace community with algorithms and expect brain growth.
I want to push on one thing though. Does screen time ever help?
In moderation, it can be fine, but the pattern matters, who it replaces, and what it costs.
So it's not screens bad, it's screens don't substitute for people.
Yes, your brain is built for greeting the barista, not just collecting followers.
The barista shout-out is elite because it's so banal, it's true.
Regular small interactions are linked with longevity, and that's not vibes, it's data.
Okay, let's go to stress, because that's the glue for everything here.
Stress is a full-body experience, sympathetic nervous system on, digestion down, alertness up.
And people normalize it because modern threats are constant, even if they're invisible threats.
That's why 3 deep breaths is such a nuclear option, parasympathetic on demand.
I love that it's not think happy thoughts, it's do physiology.
Because you can't lower your heart rate by willpower, but you can breathe your way into safety.
3 breaths feels too simple to work, which is exactly why it works.
And notice how exercise hits the same system. Walking 10 minutes reduces anxiety and depression.
That's the right now tool. No gym membership required, just movement.
Also, people forget that you don't need maximum intensity to get nervous system benefits.
Your brain's like, thank you for walking, not thank you for suffering.
And if someone's anxious, the key reframing is anxiety is a warning system.
Meaning it points to what you care about, not just what's wrong with you.
Exactly. Anxiety can reveal your values when you're not letting it spiral into panic.
I'm trying to be brave here because my default is fix the feeling fast.
The feeling can be useful, like grief waves, they come, recede, and teach you love isn't gone.
Grief waves is such a real description. Emotion isn't a straight line, it's weather.
And people want a pill to erase it, but insight says sometimes the emotion is the message.
Unfathomable grief is the opposite of tidy, but that's the point. It changes you.
And compassion becomes the byproduct, which ties back to connection and community.
Speaking of community, phone detox 2 weeks, would you actually do it?
I want to, but I know I'd feel weirdly panicky first, like withdrawals but social.
Same, my brain would be like, what do we even do with silence?
That's actually the core of meditation too, being alone with your thoughts without escaping.
So the don't do this list isn't just prohibitions, it's redirects.
Yes, protect sleep, trade some screens for real people, and interrupt stress chemistry fast.
And if you mess up, Start again tomorrow because you only have one brain.
That's the whole series in one sentence. One brain, so treat it like the only home you'll ever live in.
All right, quick final takeaway. Sleep first, breathe when stressed, and choose connection over feeds.
And if you can, schedule one real interaction, someone you can actually look in the eye.
That's it for this 2-episode run. Thanks for hanging out with us for these brain moves.
Try one small thing today, make it consistent, and keep your brain's future in mind.
We'll see you next time. Go protect your sleep like it's sacred, seriously.